what we do.
You should watch the show because kickball is the only thing you care about, and the Ad Rock show is the only show you want to watch all day.
That's a shocker.
This show is brought to you by CustomMake.com. Get your official custom outfit for Kickball 365.
Today on the podcast, we got Max, captain of Sofa King Good. These guys have been stomping competition out west all year, looking for some respect from the big dogs on the East Coast. They're going to be defending their home turf in the LA tournament coming up this weekend on Saturday in Long Beach. And we are fortunate enough to have Max come tell us a little bit about what's going on. Welcome, Max.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you.
Glad to be here. Just came from work. Sorry for being overdressed, but first guy with the suit on the podcast, I guess.
It's
right?
great. You look outstanding. Never apologize.
Yeah.
So listen, Max, let's first, I guess, go through the list of teams that are going to be there. Hopefully there'll be some names here that you recognize. First, on my list here, we got AKT, captained by a friend of the podcast, Tyler. What can you tell us about this team?
They're as good a team as we've seen out west in a while. They got great speed. We beat them this year pretty handily, but last season they tied us 1-1. So they're always a force to be reckoned with, and Tyler knows what he's doing when it comes to circuit play. A couple of their guys came out with us to New Mexico, and they're on our circuit roster. So it'll be interesting to be playing against some of our circuit teammates in our own tournament. But it'll be interesting to see what they bring to the table. They added a pitcher who is pretty good from one of the other local teams, so they're stocked and ready to go.
Sounds good. Hey, Max, what's this Brew Crew all?
The Brew Crew, some people recognize from Founders Cup 2010. They're a team that plays in Pasadena, and they have just dominated Pasadena for 5 or 6 seasons now. And Sergio, their captain, has come out. He's real big into scouting the other team, trying to pick up the nuances that he sees. He's watched us play a couple times. They were great cheerleaders for us in Vegas, I know that. And he really picks his spots and knows what makes a good team. They're a close-knit group as well.
Very cool.
Outstanding. Additionally, we have a team from Long Beach. I don't know if we got a name for this team yet. Are you familiar with these guys, this unit on Long Beach?
I am. They're captained or loosely captained by Patty Cullum, who plays with me on Thursday nights. Is filming a documentary documenting some kickball stuff. He was out in Vegas in Founders Cup filming us, filming some other teams.
Cool.
And he knows what he's doing. They're going to be a little undermanned, but they're out there for fun. But they know how to play kickball. A lot of experienced players on that team.
Excellent. Are they going to be getting any footage of the festivities?
I imagine they will. Certainly the elimination rounds. I can't promise anything sooner, but it's LA, so everyone's got a video camera almost in their back pocket. I can only imagine there'll be a few people out there.
Yeah. So got this team Sofa King. I think you know these guys a little bit. Out of LA for a couple years now, I think. You guys bringing your full squad? You going to be ready to go?
We'll be pretty ready to go. We had a couple injuries in New Mexico, myself included. Our backup first baseman hurt his knee, a strained MCL on pretty bad-looking play, so he's probably out.
I remember
And
that.
then, as I said, we're short our AKT players who are on our circuit roster, but we'll be ready to go. We're carrying about 6 ladies and 12 guys, so we'll still have plenty of ammunition for the tournament.
Excellent.
Nice.
That sounds great. Well, I know Admin and I are going to be there playing with 3 hours ahead. We're definitely looking forward to mixing it up on the West Coast. I, for one, regret that I couldn't bring my regular team, the New York Shower Hammers, but with the tournament schedule of late, we just haven't been able to get people to be able to fly out to the West Coast. But we're definitely going to make an effort to be more of a presence west of the Mississippi next year. But hopefully this mixed team is going to be a good start. And
We're bringing a good team.
I'm excited to see it. I mean, from the sounds of it, and I'm the guy who stays and watches all the Founders Cup games when my team gets eliminated. So I'm pretty familiar with everybody. And from the sounds of it, I mean, you guys can elaborate on who else you're bringing, but it sounds like a great squad from what I hear.
Yeah, they'll be. I mean, the pieces are there. It's going to be tough. I guess it's. How many rounds are we going to have here? I mean, we're going to be a little bit lean, I think. We might not have the depth to stay fresh for the whole tournament, but we'll see. I mean, the starting units are pretty strong.
Yeah, as long as Oakley's arms and legs stay on this round,
which is questionable because they are barely attached after Virginia Beach. I've been hobbling hard, so I'm trying to put my skin back together.
I think anyone who thinks it's easy to play, tournament one week and tournament the next week is sorely mistaken. No pun intended there.
Man, it's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah,
for sure.
So I think the only other team that we haven't mentioned is Whiskey Richard. Do we know these guys? I mean, I feel like we've seen a couple of. They're from Arizona. I know we've had Whiskey Richard teams out at East Coast tournaments, including Florida before, but I can't remember who's on this one. How well do you guys know this team?
We saw them at the Naked tournament. We actually played them twice in the Naked tournament, once in pool play and once in the finals. They're a good collection of players. I think they're one of those teams that has come together, a bunch of people who know each other, and they're still trying to get familiar with playing with one another. But individually, I was very impressed with a couple of their kickers and some of the speed they had at the top of their order. If they can put it all together, I think they're a threat to beat just about anybody on Saturday. I'm not sure that they are ready to put it all together to win the tournament, but I think they can beat anybody in a given game.
Now, it's kind of you to speak highly of your opponents from the Naked tournament, but you guys absolutely bulldozed that event. I think your closest game was it like 8-0 or something like that in the final.
That's the New Mexico tournament.
Oh, the New Mexico tournament. Sorry, I had them confused.
Yeah, we saw them in February in Arizona on their turf. So,
well, I guess the last time we've heard from you guys was the New Mexico tournament. You want to tell us a little bit about that? I mean, you guys didn't get too much credit for your win there. People were shouting you down a little bit.
Admin will be the first to tell you it definitely was a little bit of a charity tournament, to say the least. But everyone was out there competing. The teams that we saw in the quarters and the semis and the finals, they had run through their opponents just like we had. And when they got to us, we ran through them like we had everyone else. I was impressed with how we played, picking up our steam as the day went along. It's always good to get that tournament experience and see how your guys react under pressure and pick up their intensity as the day goes along.
Yeah,
I agree.
What did you guys think about the circuit rules? I mean, this is no problem.
Ooh,
Sorry about that.
He's a businessman. He's got to conduct business at all times.
Not even sure who this one is. Oh, I know who it is. It's my umpires for the game. Hold on, seriously.
Right. Where were we?
Let's talk about the new team.
All right, so another team that we're going to see at the LA tournament is the Foster Kids. Am I correct? This is formerly the Monster Cartel?
Yes, largely the Monster Cartel, revamped a little bit, added a few extra players, some more speed to their lineup, always a force defensively and on the mound. And if they can score, 3 runs, they can beat just about anybody. The problem is getting those 3 runs sometimes for them. But they won the other half of the conference in studio this season. They went 7-1 with their lone loss to us. So and it was a 1-0 game that game. So they're as good as anybody as well.
Yeah, those guys are legit. My team played them in 2009, I think, in Founders Cup in pool play, and we squeaked out a victory over them, but that game could have gone either way. And those guys are strong.
Cool.
So let's talk a little bit about the circuit on the West Coast. How have you found people are responding to the circuit rules, the circuit ball? Is it are people digging it out west?
I think so, and I think certainly being at the tournament and on Saturday, everyone is going to fall in love with it. Yeah. Our guys had a great time. Our guys are soccer players. They're baseball players. They know that this ball travels better, it comes off your foot nicer. It adds a whole different element to the game because you can kick away, you can find some holes because there are only 10 fielders, and obviously the three fouls for an out is a game changer in a lot of ways. You have that runner on third and less than 2 outs. That's not a guaranteed run in the circuit, but it's also possible that a base loaded situation could turn into a big inning for you. So we're all for it, and I certainly think that's going to be to our advantage, to the East Coast team's advantage come Saturday, just with how to position people, how the ball is going to travel, things of that nature.
That sounds great. Do you think a lot of folks are going to misjudge the ball in the first couple of games and might see some balls go over some outfielders?
I think so. I mean, tough to take our New Mexico experience to with the wind out there. I mean, I think the first game we launched 4 or 5 homers, and we were having a competition with ourselves to see who would hold the circuit lead in home runs after. But I think that we'll see more than 1 or 2 homers early in the day until people realize that it's not a red rubber ball that hangs up in the air for a day or 2.
Yeah. So actually, that brings up a good point. So what are we expecting in terms of field location? Where are we playing? It's out in Long Beach, but what can you tell us about the fields?
The fields are not bad. They're not great. Some are better than others. The grass will be pretty short, pretty smooth, fewer tufts than we're used to out in studio, but maybe a little more potholes or ankle breakers. So be aware of that. I think. But as far as the grass goes, it'll be similar to what we see in Vegas at Desert Breeze, I think.
Yeah, I know a lot of the West Coast teams get a lot of slack for not coming east. But what does Sofa King have to gain out of this tournament playing by the circuit rules?
That's always the key question. I think it was Casey. Somebody once called us the Boise State of kickball, and I think that does fit aptly. We got nice blue turf out here that we can invite people out to play on, but unless we go east and do it, I think the questions are legitimate, and we got to do what we can to show that we're willing to travel that way. And the only excuse I have is we need those Sunday tournaments. It's harder to get east on during the week than it is to get west. So Saturday games. So that would be the biggest favor, I think. But it needs to happen. It needs to happen now.
Hear it.
Well, we're excited. I think obviously Sofa King is the presumptive favorite. You guys are on your home turf. You are obviously an organized and disciplined squad with some excellent athletes and quite a pedigree. But that said, any predictions? You foresee any upsets? How do you think it's going to turn out?
I think it's going to be a really tough tournament. It's going to be small, but the teams are going to be good, and they're going to be competitive. No one is going to be surprised by what the other team is doing strategically. I think the ball is going to be a factor. I think the number of players is going to be a factor. And as always in LA and Long Beach, it could be real hot. So weather could be a factor. It's a dry heat, so it shouldn't be too bad in that regard. But there'll be no easy games. I think you could see a team that loses in pool play easily win the tournament by peaking at the right time. So I'm anxious to see the schedule. I don't mind being the favorite, but I think any of the teams that are there can beat us on a given day.
Good, man.
Yeah, sounds great.
Well, that's great. Well, Max, we are super excited to have you guys psyched about the circuit and involved, and we're looking forward to meeting everybody and playing you guys at Best of the West on Saturday, and then again at the Circuit Cup in October. So we'll look forward to that, and we really appreciate you coming by, and good luck with your games this afternoon.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and you need anything this weekend, I'm around. Let me know.
We certainly will, Max.
Yeah,
See
appreciate
you
it, Max.
Saturday, man.
You got it. Bye.
All right, bye.
Kickballers and kickballerettes, this is the circuit we're talking about. It's not your daddy's country club. We are the competitive home for kickball in America.
You've heard us talk about it. Kickball 365 produces the circuit, a collection of top-flight competitive kickball tournaments and events where you can win money and prizes. You ready?
Think your team can compete? Register today at thisiskickball.com.
Let's go. Come on. I go on and on and on and we'll take them to the crib unless they're boning. Easy, call them on the phone and platinum Chanel cologne and I stay dressed to impress, spark conviction interest. Sex is all I expect cause they watch TV in the Lex. They know, 4:15, left the club tipsy, say no more, except how I'm getting home tomorrow. Caesar drop you off with